So just like you, I'm a new player who just got past 14.2 because 14.1 and 14.2 are easy. And I'm stuck on 14.3 because 14.3 is hard. And I'm not going to talk about 14.4 because it's safe. And because I'm a new player, I don't have fleet tech. It's all 0. And I also don't have very good gear and cats. Like, my cats are only half good. So, about fleets, let's make the fleets right now. So for chapter 14, all of chapter 14, we want at least one BB on each fleet. And obviously FDG, or really any of the rainbow BBs, except for Warspy, would be good. But because I'm a new player, I don't have any of these gacha rainbow BBs. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my only rainbow BB is FDG, and Warspite doesn't exist. So I need to pick like one of the gold BBs, which could be like Odin or Nelson or Marco. And also because I'm a new player, I don't have any PR5 and PR6 ships completed. So we can't use Flander. So gas can mob. So can Nelson probably. I never tried Nelson. I guess I'll just put Nelson because everyone has her. So here. So this is mob fleet, and of course we always have unicorn. And ideally the last slot would be Aquila or Volga for secondary healing, but those are limited for now, and I'm a new player so I don't have them. Which means Soryu meta is permanently in dossier, so everyone can get her. Let's deal with the boss fleet first. So Haku is PR4, and everyone has Enterprise. So yeah, I'll take Enterprise. For Mob Vanguard, we can do Yudachi. And we need a tank though. So for tanks we have Anchorage and Ager. And the other CBs like Kron is event limited and Bress is PR5. So there is Azuma. Or Drake can also mob tank. And last slot can be anyone. So I'll just make the boss fleet first and see what's left over. So Harbin is PR5, that should be good for mob. And for boss, I guess Jean would work. Which leaves San Diego or another destroyer. I think I'll take San Diego because she's slightly tankier and I am only using one healer. So usually you want to put Unicorn on the bottom instead of the top, because in chapter 14 the enemy BBs, the enemy BBs at the top of the screen usually survive for longer, and then they shoot across and hit this spot more than the bottom spot. So of course Nelson needs her flags to activate her 100% barrage skill. Yeah, here. And for chapter 14, everyone, all BBs will use sword, officer sword for 20 evasion, and all carriers will use scepter for 20 evasion. And 457 is just good for mob at least. And since I'm a new player, I don't have any plus 13 457s. And for the Ox, of course, you would put plus 10 quad if you have extra of them. But that's also PR5 and take a long time to get. So 155 Kai is the best for killing those Kagero rammers. So any fighter with 2 times 1,000 pounds bombs will work. So that's currently in game is Flapjack and Tiger Cat and Sea Hornet. I'll put Flapjack, and I think new players have some wyverns. You can get the first wyvern in your second month of Opsai. There's the usual Barracuda, everyone has Barracuda, and then Sky Pirate isn't worth crafting, while Vit 2 is from PR5, so use Vit 2 if you have it. I'll be using Barracuda today. I can put Sea Hornet on. Actually, new players don't have Sea Hornet because it costs double the electronics that Flapjack or Tiger Cat do. So Unicorn is 19.62, and I want it to be different from this 23.22. It's very far apart, so it's fine. And Azuma has to be Fate Sim 5 in order to use these AP guns that otherwise she's stuck with her own gun. But my AP guns are plus 13. So I'll just use this because I don't have plus 13 guns. This one's good, but it's PR5. So we're using, these are mass producible, Twin 128 in Gear Lab. I forgot how many torps are in chapter 14. If there aren't a lot of torps, then you would put this. But there are a lot of torps. I just don't know whether it's enough to warrant the anti-torpedo Boj, or if you would just bring evasion like cosmic kicks. And in 14.3 and 14.4 we do need anti-sub. So I think plus 13 Hedgehog is a very good investment for chapter 14 and 15. And you can take one more on someone else. It's kinda hard to find though. Sandy can take sextuple. You should have like 1 plus 13 or 2 plus 13s left over from chapter 13. I actually don't really like Twin 128, but the only other choices are the PR5 gun and the PR3 gun. And PR3, nobody does that nowadays. So you would have to buy that gun using Protocore, when you should be buying the champ gun. This champ gun. And the champ gun is worth plus 13. So you should have plus 13 champ guns. And I want, in chapter 14 you always want all the main fleet damage to be staggered from each other, so since Haku is naturally slower than Enterprise, I want Enterprise to have faster planes and Haku to have slower planes. Maybe a second Wyvern? And I think I'm using 2 10-rise already, so I don't have any more. So I'll put Helldiver. Enterprise is at 22.17, and Haku is more than a second away, so it should be fine.
私の勲章坊やに何を求めているのかって私にとってこの世界で最も尊いもの私のこの子は時々急に暴れ出すからスキンシップをするなら気をつけなさい
Azur should have her own gun. And although 14.3, I'm going to be playing 14.3. It has light bosses, so it's still fine to put AP gun on her, but it's not fine to put AP on FDG. New Jersey's gun is limited for now, so purple mark 6. 私の勲章コレクションも見てみるかめんどくさい整理整頓なんて私この子はめんどくさい私こじゃんこの子は時々急に暴れ出すからスキンシップをするなら気をつけなさい指揮官 So I want a second evasion, but this one's taken, which means Beaver badge is left. And for the chapter 14, it's not like chapter 13 full of planes, but you still want anti-air in order to prevent the enemy airplanes from revealing your backline. So Roomba is a good plus 13 as well. I'll just put Roomba on everyone. Seattle gun is it's about as good as 155 Kai. So take 155 Kai because it's cheaper. So that's all the gear we can try. And I have no idea if this is enough to actually win. But for submarines, we don't have these because new player problems. U-37 is almost in archive, but not yet. Albacore is permanent, Kavala is permanent, and no other gold ship besides Royal Fortune is permanent and obtainable. Like some of these Japanese ones are in gacha. Or the wolf pack is also in gacha, maybe. But that depends on luck. I can just assume that U37 will be in farmable soon enough.
そばにいてあげたかったり、隠れて私を探して焦ってる姿を見たかったり、この気持ちって愛なのかも。
So G7E and bitters for stagger. Bitters are good for plus 13 anyways, and the DD gun doesn't matter, I can leave them empty. And all submarines want their own augment. If they don't have an unique augment, then use dagger and never use kunai. So that's submarine gear. And let's try. Lethal 14-3. Technically clearing mode makes it a bit easier, but I don't want to waste oil by turning it off, so sorry. Because in your first clear, there will be one fleet over here blocking the lighthouse. So you don't get to turn on the lighthouse immediately, like I do. And usually I would want to avoid these main fleets, these enemy main fleets, because they have battleships that shoot your main fleet ships and set them on fire. So it's really RNG how much HP your main fleet loses. These battles last so long when you have 0 tech. And that 155 guy missed the suicide boat. It fired too late. But we do need 155 Kais for the tankier suicide boats that have shields. So just avoid these large main fleets whenever possible. And if you do fight them, you can take submarines.
にできる時間はありません。無駄にできる時間はありません。迅速かつ確実な勝利。まさしく。
So 6 battles to spawn the boss, so I need 4 more mob battles. This is 1 medium recon fleet and 2 large recon fleets. And of course you can move subs over for this battle to make it safer. But you don't want to summon subs too early. Same as in chapter 15, you want to summon them late enough so that the battle ends before they surface and get killed. If you're using Tempesta ships like Royal Fortune, then it doesn't really matter, but just put them top or bottom so that they don't just explode immediately. I'll try a medium main fleet because it's in range of the subs. But I'm surprised that the fleet is still this healthy, even though I have 0 techs. Like chapter 14 seems a lot easier than I remember. And it's not like these ships are new or anything. The only new ship here is Nelson, and she's definitely not better than the rainbow ships like FDG. I want to leave this medium one for the out of ammo battle, but I also want submarines for this large battle. Oh, and by the way, never pick up the flares on the map, because the flares, when the flare lights up an enemy, all of your ships focus it, and that's not what you want usually. Usually the most dangerous enemies are the battleships in the back that kill your main fleet, burn them. So when the flare is pointing at some random trash mob in the front, then all of your ships attack that trash mob instead of attacking the BBs in the back. And that's especially true during the boss battle. I forgot the subs 20 seconds earlier, but better late than never. And last battle is medium Recon fleet.
私が艦隊指揮私が敵を侮ると思ったら大間違いよ。無駄にできる時間はありません。私がどっから来た私が敵を侮ると思ったら大間違いよ。頑張る。無駄にできる時間はありません。
That's some nice RNG. Sometimes bad RNG just happens and nothing you can do about it. Like now, I think she's burning, so I want to quit. And that's the problem with 155 Kai, it can't deal with 2 suicide boats at once. Like, there. But it's needed to deal with those suicide boats with shields. So you don't have much choice there. And the Vanguard just exploded that time. So just random bad RNG. I think Nelson could take HSFCR to make the first salvo quicker earlier, because she's kind of overlapping with Unicorn. And you want stagger between all the main fleet ships, of course. So third time's the charm, and I scraped by the mod battles. If you copy my gear exactly, which should be pretty doable, and then you add tech instead of having 0 tech like a new player, then it should be quite easy to pass chapter 14. Summoning subs immediately on the start of the boss battle might be a good idea to clear these early waves faster. If they surface early and they die, it doesn't matter, because this is the last battle of the sortie. So these battleships in the back, they fire these burning salvos to light their main fleet on fire. And the burn damage does hurt, but more importantly, it increases the concealment bar and then makes the ship revealed. And after the ship revealed, all of the enemy BBs can just focus fire on that one ship and then kill it pretty quickly.
アンカレッジ
So if John dies, then no S rank, but that's fine.
アイリスご加護
She survived. For the first clear, it's okay to not get S rank.
残念だわ。アンコールもまだ始まっていないというのに。
So yeah, chapter 14 is quite easy nowadays. Even if you don't use new ships, and all of these ships are pretty old except for Nelson Retrofit. And these ships are also old.